Hello, Wolfpack fans, and welcome to Wolfpack Watch. This is our third episode in a weekly series. I'm your voice of the Wolfpack, Doug Wood, and with me again this week, head coach Scott Jones. Coming off a home victory against South Paulding, 43-0, our first home game of the season, and now we're 2-0 heading into next week's game at East Paulding. Coach, what are your thoughts around the Friday night game?
Well, I mean, our kids, we showed up, came out to play, and had another shutout, and so very proud of the defense. And we've got a lot of kids in the game, and a lot of our young kids played well too. So excited. Got a work cut out this week with a East Paulding team that's well coached and very physical.
And with the score this week being 43-0. At the end of the game, it was 43-0 at halftime, which you just said you got some young folks young kids in the second half. Were they excited to get in there? Were the starters wanting to play in the second half? How did that all come about going into the second half? What was your game plan knowing that you were up by that much?
Well, starters, they don't ever want to come out of the game. That's just that nature of being a man who's worked so hard to gain that spot. They don't want to come off the field, but deservingly, the young kids went in there and did a great job. Most of them got to play. We did our best to try to get them in there, but even though they're young, they got out there and kept them from scoring. So very proud of that group.
Absolutely. In the first half, we had 3 touchdown passes, I believe, 1 touchdown run from Lucas Mays, and the fumble recovery right before the end of the half. How did you feel the offense performed?
Well, offensively, I think Ross Malgrim, he ended up being about 75% completion. That's excellent. We threw. I think he threw to like 7 different receivers, including Lucas down the field, and so spreading the ball around like that can give defenses fits. And I think they, on the offensive line, I'll tell you, that's the key there. I think Ross may have gotten sacked one time, but Chesley Landrum and Blake Thomas graded out the highest of that group. So, offensively, when you're scoring, the offensive line must be doing a pretty good job. So we don't want to forget those guys.
Absolutely. And defensively, I got to be honest with you, Coach. Watching that game from the press box, that was a stifling defensive effort the other night. What do you think?
Well, I mean, again, just like last week, I can't name one player because they played relentless, and I'd hate to line up across from them myself, but it looks like we're having fun out there, and but again, this week the ante's up and a little different opponent.
Right. As far as what your outlook for the season was, did you see this coming? I mean, we're 70-0 as far as the first 2 games, and I know that Paulding and South, they probably aren't the upper tier opponents, but did you see this coming?
Well, yeah. I mean, all winter long, the colleges that are coming in here are looking at a lot of our defensive players, especially our linebacker core, and so shutouts maybe not, but I saw a defense that was coming together that should be and is stout. And 70-0, no, but we felt real good about our defense coming into this year.
Absolutely. Now, the other thing that I did notice is that I wanted to ask you about. I don't know if you've been able to look at the film yet. I know you're here for a film session today, but from your view of the game from the sidelines in a 43-0 game, what do you see during the game from the sidelines that that we have to improve on going forward?
Well, I mean, we defensively we want 11 guys in the picture. So, and our coaches at practice, we're always trying to get those guys to rally to the football. So, we may see 1 or 2 that's not getting there. So those are things obviously we got to work on. Our protection offensive line-wise, that's always work in progress for any team, and so we need to do that. But really, sustaining drives and not turning the ball over, just the basics of what it takes to win a football game is what we're looking for out there. But, getting all those kids in the game and some of them inexperienced or whatever, we're going to make mistakes. I'm glad that we got them in there and they had an opportunity to improve, and so hopefully we'll get to do that some more this year.
Coming up this week on the road at East Paulding, probably North's major rival. What do you think about this game?
Well, it is a rival game. I mean, anytime we play any Paulding County school, it's a rival. But this is probably the king of the rivalries, and it was long before I got here. And so, but there's a mutual respect there, hopefully, and it's going to be a contest. I'm sure that they'll be talking about it over there, and we'll be talking about it over here. But we got to come. We got to bring it.
How do you guard from overconfidence, knowing that you've had 2 shutouts in a row? East Paulding, they've only played 1 game. They lost to Harrison. How do you guard from overconfidence coming into this game, making sure that the kids do what they need to do?
Our fall scrimmage. That's how we guard against it. We came into the fall scrimmage and let our guard down and learned a lesson, hopefully. And we can use that week in and week out to prepare. But this is a rivalry. We're playing against a team that a very well coached, a solid football team, and so our kids know that. They know that, and they know what's at stake here. Even though it's a non-conference game, it's a year's worth of bragging rights, and so our kids will be ready.
East Paulding this week. Next week we're at home against Cherokee. We'll preview that game next week on our next session. Final question for you, Coach. South Paulding comes to us. We're here at the Den for the first time. What did you think about the fan support that we had on the sidelines?
Unbelievable. I tell you what, we've got the best fan support. We got the best band. We got the best everything. And I went and watched the big fight last night, and everybody over there was talking about. They wasn't talking so much about the football game. They were talking about the fan base. And so, a lot of blue and silver being bled over here, and I'm excited to be a part of it. But it makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck to have the fans that excited about North Paulding.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you again, Coach, for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll look forward to next week when we recap the East Paulding game and look forward to the Cherokee game here at home. Thank you very much for joining us. Wolfpack Football would like to thank Paulding Building Supply for their support of the 2017 season. Thank you, Paulding Building Supply.